Yes, hi, John Burry, and I live in Kenilworth. Last time we did this, the questions were asked and immediately answered, so I thought we were going to do that again. I have quick questions, but if we're not, then this works too, as long as I can come back if they weren't answered and just try them again. They're real quick, and there are like a dozen of them. So if you want to take them down, I'll talk slowly. Anyone here representing Covanta? I mean officially? All right, that's the first. Are these meetings catered? I mean, I was just curious on that one. What is the gate price? That is, if you have a hauler coming in from New York and wants to dump off a couple of ton, whatever it is, how much do you charge, like today, if you were to come today or tomorrow? Yeah, John Burry, Slub resident, Kenilworth. As far as the studies on the bonding and the debt, are pretty much, you know, you could come out with whatever you feel like. I'm sure they did studies in Harrisburg when they were playing around with their incinerator. Harrisburg's probably going to go bankrupt any day now because of the incinerator debt. No, but I'm sure the studies were pretty thorough. Thankfully, we're apparently going to get answers to questions, because I was at the meeting on Monday, McEnroe hearing, and there were 4 questions that weren't answered, so I'll pose them again. What's the gate price for out-of-county haulers? Somebody from New York City, no contract, whatever comes in, what do they pay per ton? What's the lost revenue between 2004 and 2031, a dollar figure, a real dollar figure, of the electricity sales, recyclables that would come back to the public sector? I mean, as it stands now, it looks like it's 17 million electricity, 5 million recyclables. That's a ton of money. Over 7, 8 years it's being given away. But that's my guess. I'd like a real number. And then the total debt, including the landfill bonds. Like, what is it now, and what would it be when, just 2 numbers is fine. What would it be when this goes through? What's the total debt? And the 4th one was the POTUS and Northwest financial fees to date and what they're expected to get from this. So those questions were, I posed them Monday and they weren't answered, and I have video evidence of the fact. And the other part of this is how this is sold. This is not, I was at that hearing and I was really looking for someone to represent the UCUA and the taxpayers, especially the taxpayers, but there's nobody, and especially Kenilworth. They've been just sold a bill of goods. They signed a contract back in December or October, and in there's a guaranteed tonnage. And they were told that their guaranteed tonnage is 3,000. It's not. It hasn't been that probably since '04. But that is what they will have to pay. Now, in the past, the UCUA has not enforced that because they only needed 250,000 tons according to contract, and they were getting it from other places. But now they need 430,000 tons, and that's the real reason. This is to protect Covanta's profits. And there really should be somebody out there looking to protect Union County taxpayers, not profits, but you know, them. And in the justification to this agreement that was filed in February, it says there's a risk. The increase in annual guaranteed level of waste that UCUA has agreed to deliver from 250 to 430, there's a risk there. But this is how they mitigate that risk. And the first reason, the extended local waste agreements, approximately 175,000 tons annually, require the local municipalities to deliver a guaranteed annual tonnage of waste. In the event that a municipality does not deliver the guaranteed level of waste, the municipality is still required to pay as if that guaranteed level of waste had been delivered. This is what they certified to the government, to the state. This has not been enforced in the past. Kenilworth probably has around 2,600. The last number I have is 2,673 from 2009. In their contract, it says 3,000. They signed it. The UCUA can bill them 3,000, and according to this, it looks like they will bill them 3,000. So that $12 savings, it's gone, and that $12 isn't indexed. As it gets worse and worse and higher, there'll be a massive loss. And as the waste drops, 5 years from now, it's not it's possible that Kenilworth could have 2,000 tons of waste and still be paying for 3,000. That's how it's been going. And this is going to be a surprise to municipalities, unless they listen to the emails I've sent to them. And I am encouraging every municipality to cross out that guaranteed tonnage. They don't have to be robots. They don't have to sign whatever's put in front of them, because what's put in front of them is likely written by Covanta. That guaranteed tonnage has got to be out. It is unconscionable to be sending waste in and having to pay for, it's unconscionable for Kenilworth to have to send 2,600 tons of waste and have to pay for 3,000. If they understand that position, I don't think and the towns weren't told that. I know in Kenilworth, according to the record of the work session 1026, Kenilworth was told that they had 3,000 tons, and nobody investigated there. So there's going to be a major surprise. And another quick thing, that 2002 agreement that Kenilworth signed, the guaranteed tonnage number was blank. So I don't think Covanta can actually, so they needed a new agreement. I don't know if it was only Kenilworth that was blank. It may have been blank for the other ones. But they provided me with that, and there's no number in guaranteed tonnage. So maybe they had to go through this to guarantee Covanta's profits, which is really what this looks like it's about. But if you got the questions, I'd like the 4 questions answered if the answers are available now.
Mr. Berry indicated that he asked those questions at the McEnroe hearing on Monday evening and that they weren't answered. Of course, what he did not bother to tell you is that he was told repeatedly on the record that the record of the McEnroe hearing would remain open for 15 days, that any questions that were not answered that night would be answered in writing and made part of the McEnroe report, and that he could ask any additional questions over that 15-day period and that those would be answered as well. He knows that was said, and he made a tape of it. I just guess he didn't feel like talking about it tonight.